Hello everyone, my name is Moji, and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble news channel. I think what we're seeing here is the kind of greed and excitement that come with a big market bubble, which I think we are in right now. I also think that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general will do really well over the next 3 to 4 months. But I think things will get very bad for crypto and risk investments around the world after that. Wow, that's 3 to 4 months. When you said blow off top, I thought you meant something that would last for another 18 months. You're saying that this party will fall apart in 3 to 4 months. Okay, fine. Some of what Henrik said makes sense to me. So you're still buying Bitcoin until November or December when you think the trend will become the biggest drop in a long time. And then where do you put yourself after that? What do you do with your Bitcoin? What do you do when you want to get cash back? What's the deal now that the market is down? Henrik Zeberg starts the conversation by making a strong statement about the state of the market right now. He thinks that we are currently going through a phase of greed and euphoria that can be seen in any big market bubble. According to Zeberg, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are expected to do very well over the next 3 to 4 months. He does, however, warn that after this time of strong performance, there will be a big drop in all risk assets, not just crypto. There are signs that a recession is coming, and Zeberg says these signs have been showing for 6 months. This is what worries him. The first of these signs showed up last year, and they should not be ignored. When these signs flash in the past, they have been very good at predicting economic downturns. Zeberg warns that this increase in liquidity often marks the end of an economic cycle rather than the start of a new one, even though the markets are feeling optimistic right now because of it. Take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and set your alerts to receive more videos like this. You can also watch our other videos about cryptocurrencies and digital assets in general. Please share your thoughts and comments in the part below. For the channel's growth, everything you do is very helpful for the YouTube system. Thanks, and have fun with the movie. I believe this is the kind of greed and excitement that comes before a big market bubble, which I believe we are in now. I also think that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general will do really well over the next, say, 3 to 4 months. But I think things will get worse for crypto and risk investments around the world after that. Oh my God, it will take 3 to 4 months. When you said blow off tuck, I thought you meant something that would last for about 18 months. You're saying 3 to 4 months, and then the party will be over. Yes, of course. I mean, I don't think anyone really gets how close we are to a recession. You can see that the recession signals that have been flashing for the past 6 months, and even some of the early signals that I flashed last year were very, very correct. These are not timing indicators, but when they flash, they are. So the trouble is that everyone is starting to have fun now that money is coming into the system. But when money comes in, it's usually because the central bank starts to boost the economy. When they do that, it's late. But if you look at the real business and the people who buy things, we can see that they're having a hard time. We can see credit card late payment rates. It's clear that the unemployment numbers are beginning to rise. And there isn't a nice place in the world to look. That's why I think what you saw in Japan a few weeks ago is the start of everything. I believe that the world markets have reached their highest point, and I believe that the US markets will now move into a blow-off top. The SP is between 61 and 6,300. There was a big move, maybe even bigger on the NASDAQ, but that was it. It will happen quickly. And from what I can tell, things are a lot like they were in late 2007 and early 2008, let's say. There are bull markets in Bitcoin. We've been in a bull market for 18 months, but they last a lot longer than that. That being said, I think this bull market will last at least 3 years. And I would say even longer than that because these ETFs are just now beginning to pick up money. We've only seen the very tip of the iceberg so far. This could last longer than 3 years, which wouldn't surprise me. But I think we'll stay until 2025. That's how I feel in my gut. Some of what Henrik said makes sense to me. It's clear that we've had some signs that our economy is in bad shape. You can see the gaps between 2-year and 10-year treasuries. The inversion is becoming less inverted. The difference between Fed funds and the 2-year note is going down. You can see that unemployment has set off the SOM signal. There are bad numbers coming out of the retail business. However, I believe you need to take a step back and go a lot farther. Take a look at it from a lot higher up and farther away. I also said that my goal for Bitcoin is around $120,000. That's why I'm long Bitcoin and everything else that has to do with crypto. By the end of the year. So you're still buying Bitcoin until November or December when you think the trend will become the biggest drop in a long time. And then where do you put yourself after that? What do you do with your Bitcoin? What do you do when you want to get cash back? How does the trade work after the collection? At that point, everything that has to do with danger will be sold. Yes, after a certain amount of time you'll have cash. After that, there will be other TLTs, like US bonds and German bonds, and another period. The Fed will start to pay attention to this though, and I think it will be around mid-25. You want to move on to gold, silver, gold miners, and other things like that? This would be the start of a metal boom. Anything that has to do with goods can be interesting there, but that's it. There you have it. It's going to be like full risk now. It will be like, okay, then it'll be cash for a while or very defensive after that. I think it will be getting ready for the kind of stack inflation or situation that I think can happen when the Fed steps back in. Fred, what do you think? I mean, Ram, I don't think macro really affects the price of Bitcoin that much in the end. BTC will likely get bigger. I believe in something like this power law idea. I think we'll get to Bitcoin 1 million, okay, within the next 10 years. We will have ups and downs, but I think we will get there. I was a trader for a living. That's something I no longer do. I have a lot of Bitcoin and don't plan to trade it. Now, I might give you 20% off if we reach about 250,000 in 2025. For some reason, that's kind of my plan. But my plan is to just slither through this whole cycle and maybe the next one too. That's kind of my main plan. James, where do you think you should stand? Oh, I see what Fred is thinking now. I'm really thinking about this for a long time. This cycle doesn't bother me. What kind of stagflation do you think we'll have? I don't think our leaders and central bankers will be able to think as clearly as Henrik. I really don't think they will. We have already seen how stupid the current administration's possible plans are. So I think they will print because they want to get re-elected, which is why they will print. Will it fix the real problem with the economy? Most likely not. Things will get worse. But it will drive a lot of the economy because, as we can see with fiscal dominance, it has been driving a part of the economy and will continue to do so. We're such a big business service in the US. We now have an economy based on financial services and the service industry. Those are really big, you can't ignore them. And they will keep putting paper into that part of the market, a lot of cash into it, and hope it does well. The things you can't bet on and that are hard to guess are things like, will AI make us more productive in the next 5, 7, or 10 years? Very likely. We're not sure. What you also don't know is that as the US dollar gets stronger around the world, it hurts many other currencies and people who use those currencies. Will they use Bitcoin to store their money when they can't get dollars? That's something else you need to think about. We're so us-focused, but Henrik isn't. Let's talk about how Bitcoin can be used to grow your money and store value. But we don't need to. The oppression and very high prices in countries that will build up over the next 10 years. The possible effects of new technologies, especially those that use artificial intelligence on the business and markets, are also talked about. Some people think that AI could lead to big increases in productivity over the next few years, which could counteract some of the bad economic trends. The panelists all agree, though, that people will still need hard money like Bitcoin even as new technologies come out. I only have one thing to say about what James said, right? You talked about AI. Also, I believe Vinod Khosla put up this great study. I cannot remember who wrote the paper. But, this stuff is coming faster than we think. And if we set the year 2030, it's pretty clear that by that year we'll have superhuman intelligence, not just ChatGPT,